Okay, I think we're ready to get started here. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another ProcessMaker webinar. Please let me know if you can hear me well, if you can see my screen. Okay, perfect. So you may recognize my voice from past events. My name is Giovanni Lopez, and I'm the training manager here at ProcessMaker. And for this event, my dear friend and colleague Mauricio Cárdenas, product manager at ProcessMaker 2, will be sharing the spotlight with me to show you the latest functionality and features recently released with ProcessMaker 3.6. So before we let Mauricio demo us all of these new features in an actual ProcessMaker environment, please let me give you a brief introduction to what you're about to see. So let's get started here and let's see what's new in ProcessMaker 3.6. Okay, I know that in these slides, we're only including a tiny thumbnail from the actual interface. Nevertheless, in a moment, Mauricio will be showing us the real stuff. So please don't worry about it. The first thing you can notice in ProcessMaker 3.6 is the totally revamped home user interface. Some of the amazing features that you're about to see include a collapsible menu that will allow you to better manage the used screen space in your ProcessMaker environment. You can see that we're going to be also talking about the new My Cases interface and all of the useful case information available there, as well as the available actions that you're going to be able to perform there. The most notorious modifications made to this case list also include a colored task list that Maurice is going to be showing us in a moment, some big improvements made to the case quick info panel, and the case notes. And you're going to notice that we're also including a case detailed summary panel that I'm sure you're going to find totally useful. In addition to all of this, we're also going to take a look at the new interface used for creating cases and all of the new options available on it. So all of these options are going to be presented by Mauricio in a moment. You're going to notice that we're also including a new advanced search interface to this version of ProcessMaker. Some of the most important changes made to this interface include a tag filter-based search. Now you're going to be able to do advanced searches based on the case title, the case status, the process name, and something really big here is that now you're going to see the option to save your searches. For example, if you are constantly searching for cases related to a specific process, now you're going to be able to save that search and add a quick access option to this search in your advanced search menu. So this is really big, and Mauricio is going to be giving us an example in a moment as well. Another changes are related to the user extended attributes. And this is going to allow you to add new attributes to your user profiles. I know that sometimes when you're looking at the information available for each of the users on your ProcessMaker environment, you would like to add more information there, like, for example, the social security number or a second phone number and stuff like that. So now you're going to be able to create these new attributes. These are going to be custom attributes. And you're going to see the option to assign these new attributes to a specific user, to a group of users, to multiple groups of users, and stuff like that. And finally, something really important is that it is possible to synchronize these newly created attributes with the information that you have in an LDAP or an Active Directory server. To talk to you a little bit more about this new authentication source options that you have in this version of ProcessMaker, you're going to see that now it is possible to import and export the connection configuration that you have in a ProcessMaker environment. So, for example, if you have already configured a connection to an Active Directory server, You're going to be able to test this connection, make sure that it's working properly, and export this configuration in order to import it in a different ProcessMaker environment. And that's going to save you a lot of time if you're in charge of this kind of configuration. Mauricio is going to be also showing us some of the additional synchronization options that you have for the authentication sources. We're going to be able to see the complete interface that you use in order to configure one of these authentication sources. And something really important is that the new custom attributes that you now are able to add to your user profiles, all of these attributes can be matched with information that you have in an LDAP or Active Directory server. So these are briefly all of the changes that have been made to this version of ProcessMaker. Now let's see a little bit of Mauricio's presentation.
Okay. Hi, how are you? My name is Mauricio Cárdenas, and I'm the product manager of ProcessMaker 3. Today I will present the new ProcessMaker 3.6 that has improvements in the UI of the home view that is very interesting and useful. Also have a new feature that is called User Extended Attributes, the new LDAP Advanced, and a small addition to the designer. So let's start this presentation and let me show you the new UI of ProcessMaker. You will see a new area that is My Cases. This is very interesting because you will have different options. The first one is started by me. That means all the cases that I created. So in this area you will see the draft cases, my cases that are still pending to be finalized, but I can make a following up, and the completed cases that I created. The next one is in progress. In this area you will see the cases where I participated in one task, or maybe the one that I created. But the idea is to keep following up of those important cases that I need to know what is happening. And the next one is the completed cases, all the cases that has been finalized and I participated or created. And the last option is supervising. This presents to the user supervisor, process supervisor, all the cases that belongs to a process he is managing in order to know and keep following up about those cases. So let's start explaining about the columns. We change in this area the columns. We have the case number, the case title, the process name, the pending task. That is very interesting because it has some squares with different colors. Green means that the case is on time. That means it's still pending to be completed. We have also the orange color that is for draft cases. In this case, you will see a gray one that is unassigned. For example, if a task is unassigned and requires to be claimed in order to continue, this will be identified very easily. The red one is when the case has exceeded the due date. So, for example, if I have a draft case that I didn't complete, or a pending case that I didn't complete, but the time has been exceeded to the due date, the square will be red. Also, you will have the full name of the task in case the name is very large. In some cases that happen. You will know who are the users that are assigned to some tasks, and you will see this information. For example, you will see the full name. For example, let me check one that is very clear. You will see the position and you will see the email. So if you have the position defined for your user, you will see that information. The status, that means if the case is pending to be completed or in draft. The start date, when it has been created. The finish date, only when the case has been finalized. And the duration is the time between the start date and the finish date when it's complete, or the start date and the actual date if the case is still pending. And at the last, you will see the option of the case notes. If it is bold, you have case notes. So I will access the case notes, and I can put any comment, and I can drag and drop any files to complete this information. And voila, I can post my information in the case notes. I can access, if I have the permissions, can I review those files, and I can download this information. Also, you will see a search box that has some filters to make easy the way to find some cases. For example, by case number. Or, for example, if I want to search using the start date from the 1st of January this year till the end of that month. Okay, so I have the whole information here. That makes it very simple. Also, we have an addition. If you double click in a row, you will be able to see, instead of the form, you will see the case details. This is just in this area. So I will double click and I can see, for example, all the pending tasks. A brief summary about we have in ProcessMaker. When you access a form, you have the same in actions. More information is when you have defined a Dynaform in order to present the summary information. The process map, that is something we usually had, and the idea is to keep following up about the workflow, the case history, and the change log. If you're the owner of the case, you can continue, you can open that form. This is very interesting because if you have a case that has different threads, that means parallel tasks, you will know what is happening with each one and to who belongs. For example, this task force belongs to a specific user, and task 2 to another user, that is the admin, and the last one is unassigned. Also, you will have the case title per thread. That means, for example, if the main case title is, let me check, is request task 1.1, you will be able to see the task case title, the task title that belongs to the specific thread. Also, you will see a small summary about key information about when this has been created, when this has been delegated to in the last task, and the duration that is happening right now. We added a new way of creating cases, that is this button that is present in all parts of the new UI. You can search, for example, for a specific process. For example, we will use this one. This is the debugger. Perfect. So I will go again to my cases started by me, and I will find, one second, please. Yes, and I will find the case I created. So all the information is there. Then we have the new version of the advanced search. We wanted to keep this idea of having different threads, and we added the same information to the advanced search. And the advanced search is slightly different as the one we have in version 3.5 and older versions. You will be able to see the case information and all the pending tasks that belongs to that specific case, the same as we displayed in my cases, but the way of searching is a little bit different. Now we use tags. For example, I will use this tag that is for the case number, and I will present the cases from 1420 to 1420, 30, and search. Perfect. So I will have this. I will narrow this information. I can add as much as I want any other tags. For example, case created, started date, and the process name, test mobile, for example. Test mobile, and that has been created last month till today. Okay, so we can narrow this information. If you double click over any row, you will have the same case details. So this is very important to have a high level information. The idea is to provide key information for anything. Also, something very interesting for the advanced search is that you can create your own personalized search, because sometimes you can repeat the same search all the time. So in this case, for example, I created mobile. I can make some changes, for example, and I will save it. And this search will be defined, and you can create as much searches as you want. For example, my process name. And I can save this as PR process demo. Okay. Then we have the same tasks options that we have in the past. You won't lose that information. So if you want to just to search about the specific information of task, this is the same. Just we make some changes about the columns. We have the case details that are the same options to know about the major information about the case. This is the same. But also you have if you double click, you can open the form. We maintain the same functionalities. You will have also the information about the colors in the task status, the due date, delegation date, and priority, and you can open also with this button directly the case. This is very interesting because we have made more simple the way to unpause cases. If you have a case that is paused, you just need to unpause right here. In the past, we needed to open the form, go to actions, and select the option and unpause and fill some information. In the new version, you don't need to do that. Also, it's the same with the assigned. If you want to claim the case, you just need to click over claim and claim. That's it. You don't need any other steps in order to go a different area and get that information. Also, we added this collapse and expand option that is very nice to have. And you have these icons that represent any of the options we have with the menu of ProcessMaker, such as the case archive and the data reporting tools with the scope, report designer, report user. And any custom plugin, it can be benefited by this menu. So this will be explained in the wiki in order for you to use these options. So this is the new UI of ProcessMaker. It's very simple. I will go to present you the new option of user extended attributes. The idea of this option is to create new attributes for users. For example, I will create the social security number. Social security number, PM, an ID, social security number. And I want this to be required and type password because I don't want to display this information for everyone. I can assign this attribute to all users or specific by a role. For example, all the operators will have this social security number, but I will add just to display this for all the users. Perfect. So I will go to the user information. And if you see here, this area will be presented. So I can add here my phone. Any social security number. And this is recorded. The good thing about having this option is that you can use this to be synchronized with the LDAP. So let me present you the new version of the LDAP Advanced. That is slightly different. We have different options. The way to present the UI is more nice. You have here all the menu options to delete the authentication source, to edit authentication source, to synchronize the departments, to synchronize the groups, to download this setting or synchronize import all the users. So in that sense, for example, if I have exported this authentication source, in my development server and I want to import this setting to my production server, I can do it. The only thing that won't be exported is the password because it is encrypted in JSON, and that is very simple to break. So the idea is to export this new setting in your new server. So let me show you the new settings we have added. We added more options for the group class identifier, department class identifier, because some users some customers has the different requirements regarding the LDAP. For example, we added in the Active Directory the option of having the require sign-in policy for the LDAP to enable the automatic register, anonymous, enable TLS. That is an option. But the idea is to provide more ways to set this authentication source. Also, when you create a new authentication source, you will have the option to test and then to save your authentication source. When it's already been done, you will have the option to match attributes. And when you can match the attributes you want to import from the Active Directory to your setting in ProcessMaker, you can use the extended attributes. And that is why we wanted to add these attributes. So this is for all the roles, and I will like to add the social security number, and I can add the attribute in the LDAP setting. I'm using this configuration, Active Directory, and save it. And that's it regarding the LDAP Advanced. And the improvement for the designer that is very simple, but is somehow useful, is when you have a process that is very large and you don't want to be autosave automatically in any change, you can disable the autosave. So in that sense, you can just save these modifications when you have finalized defining your workflow, because it's something big. And sometimes, in some moments, it's annoying if you have a large workflow and this is saving all the time. So right now, you can disable it or you can enable to be automatically updated. And that's it. This is the new ProcessMaker 3.6. I hope you have enjoyed, and thank you so much for your time.